The Masimba movement knows that I just need to harness the skills of knowing how to seduce your body. If I go down on you and I start playing with your clitoris or your labia and I take time and I start vacuum sucking and I take time, you have this explosive scream because you're having a crazy orgasm. The truth is this, sex toys are good for you. Not everyone's going to have a sex toy, but they are good for you. Women who masturbate at least 3 times a week will always enjoy sex more than those who don't.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode on Get Naked with Lydia, where we hold authentic conversations about relationships, friendship and general lifestyle. And as Potato suggests, today we are going to be talking about vaginas and penises with our able sexologist, our guest today. And before I introduce him, I want to give you, to plug you on our shoot location today. This is at Edmo Suits. It's a 1-bedroom apartment that you can hire for a long-term or a short-term basis, or a staycation to around Nairobi in Kileleshwa, Riverside and Westlands. They have apartments from studio apartments up to 4 bedrooms apartment. Fully furnished, fully serviced. Hapo unakuja tu na have a good time, you work, you stay, you relax. Anything that you are looking for. And if you are looking for an Airbnb, contact Edmo Suits with the number on your screen or the email address on your screen. And if you mention my name, Lydia 500, you get 500 off your next stay with Edmo Suits. So I don't want to talk a lot, only that you guys are watching without subscribing, and honestly, why? Please subscribe, turn on your notification bell. I've gotten a couple of feedbacks that so many of you are not able to see my channel, our channel, without searching. So I would advise you turn on your notification bell, so that each time I upload a video, you just get notified. Get Naked Lydia has uploaded a new video. It will be much easier to work like that. Anyway, without further ado, let me introduce our guest today. So sometime back, I found myself in a shoot setup, and these people, they set me up because I didn't know who I was going to meet until I met them. And even the discussion we had on that setup was mind-blowing for me, and I had to have Maurice over here. And I sent some questions. I sent a question tag, a Q&A tag on my Insta story. If you haven't by now, lydiawanjuru.ke on Instagram, follow me. And I asked my followers, my Insta story followers, to set up questions for Maurice. Before we get into it, Maurice.
Yes.
Who are you? Wewe ni nani?
I'm a man from Mukambani, a place called Kilungu. I'm a sexologist, have been for the last 22 years. I love empowering women sexually. I also deal with men, but the majority of my clients are women. And I'm glad I met you on that other podcast, and we had a good conversation. And I'm happy to be here.
Karibu sana. Karibu sana. Maybe just help us define what a sexologist is, because I think in our African minds, some of us don't know until we are like, is there a thing like that? People, it means sex is not just...
Well, let's start with what I'm known for. I'm known for teaching women how to own their orgasm, how to own their ability to squirt and stuff. But there's much more I do in regards to when it comes to couples. Sometimes it's not sexual. So I have to profile the psychology of where they are today versus where they've been before. So also mentor. I don't like using the word counseling. It's very old-fashioned. So nowadays you profile. Which was part of my training anyway, where I have to profile people, whether they're a couple, whether they're individuals. I deal with humans. So my job is to tell you why you behave the way you do, or why you're feeling the way you're doing at this stage of your life. Then I give you options of what could be you, but I won't tell you this is what you need to do. Yes, and I also don't teach people based on a religion or my own opinion. I teach them based on the variety and categories of human behaviors out there. It's not wise to teach people based on what I feel. For example, let's say I don't like ice cream. I then can't hate people
for taking ice cream.
Exactly. Yet I find a lot of professionals doing that. They advise people based on their self-belief, which is wrong. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Okay. You're supposed to be very impartial and just study why this person likes doing certain things. For example, if somebody comes and tells me, I have an attraction for animals, I have studied people who have an attraction for animals. I can then now not bring my Africanized background and say, you must be serving the devil, that's why.
Unless someone bewitched you.
Exactly. And people who tend to do that are people who don't understand that we have so many psychologies out there. There's a reason why people love certain things and others don't. And whatever you think is normal means you're not exposed enough.
Oh, true.
Sometimes exposure changes things. If you're very narrow-minded, then anything outside that narrow mind is abnormal. It's not acceptable. Yeah, it's crap.
Okay, but you haven't defined what is sexology.
It's a breakdown of how humans behave, both in your natural environment, how the environment basically affects you. It's just a full study of why we are in existence.
All right.
And then obviously there's the sexual element, because the one thing people tend to forget, or maybe they didn't know, is before we had names, we had a sexual designation.
Oh, yeah.
So we are sexual beings.
Yes.
Because if you're born with certain human traits, like if you're born with a penis, it is a procreational tool. If you're born with a vagina, it's a procreational tool. So before anything else, before you were ever a sexologist, before you went to nursery, you had a designation. So we're definitely sexual beings. It's what we do with our sexuality as we grow up now, changes things, depending on your background and what you've been taught and stuff. I believe people need to unlearn so many things.
We have a lot of as Africans, we have a lot of unlearning,
Yes.
relearning.
Yes.
Because we there are certain things we do, and some of us don't know why you do it. We do it, but it's how we were taught growing up.
Yes.
Like for example, like a woman's place in the house is the kitchen.
Yes.
Is doing the laundry.
Yes.
Is taking care of other people, and then boys are always boys. Like you're supposed to be outside playing, supposed to be with your boys, doing some creative stuff outside, but not in the house. So I think, yeah, we are learning and unlearning, and Gen Z are good at it. They're learning. Don't you think so?
Well, before we tackle Gen Z, look at it this way. Everything you've described is a Caucasian model. It's not an African model. You mentioned laundry.
Really?
We didn't have that as Africans. We lived in a Boma village, so we didn't have laundries. We didn't have a dining table where people dine. We didn't have a fridge. We didn't have the technologies we basically take for granted today. We didn't have all those. So I always say, whatever Africanism looked like 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, is not something we're going to ever practice today.
Because it's not possible because of the environment.
And look at it this way. The Caucasian came and told us that we're very primitive for living in the bush.
Yeah.
We're very primitive for
Eating
hunter-gatherer, eating herbs, foraging and stuff like that. Doing what now we call korogas and stuff. But the same Caucasian now owns lodges, owns resorts where there's a nature trail.
Where you go
now,
practice
yes, where now you're being taught how to forage your mushrooms and your different herbs.
And make fire.
Yeah. So, and guess what? They found us doing all these things.
And they said it's not.
Yes, and they made us forget it. Now they're selling it back to us. Can you believe that? And now we're paying premium for what just used to be our lifestyle.
What the fuck?
You see?
Yeah.
So we took up their apartment and mansions and driving fancy cars and going to fancy restaurants, and then they went to the bundus. Now I have to pay a premium to go to an eco-lodge where the shower and the water is being pumped from a spring or whatever. And I'm telling guys in Nairobi, you guys need to see this experience. Wow, this Muzungu man, he's so clever. No, he found us living this way.
We really got colonized. We really
I know. But now, In terms of the Gen Z, I love the fact that they're remodeling things.
Our pangui.
Yeah, I love the fact that a Gen Z can actually tell their boss that my brain works between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I don't need lunch. I don't need micromanaging. Just leave me alone. Let me do my thing. There's what the contract stipulates, and then there's what my brain needs. So are we doing this or not? I've heard that. So I've met it, and I've also heard from a lot of friends who are in HR, and they're usually puzzled, like, this guy is about to fire themselves, and they don't give a shit.
They don't, by the way. Even if you fire them, they don't. They stick to what they believe.
Exactly. And there's actually one who told the boss, considering I'm not making you money, why don't you come in at 6 and I come in at 9?
Hey?
Yeah. And the boss is like, okay, this is a different generation. So yeah, there's that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we've been told that need to happen for things to work. That is false.
That is false.
First, we don't need 3 meals a day.
No.
We don't.
It's too much.
Yes, it's too much for even our digestive system. Now, science has already shown that. We don't need to catalog every single thing. The funny thing is, COVID put all of us in a constraint, if I can use that word. I thought we'd learn from that.
No.
Remember the way people always say, between Monday and Thursday, Friday, I have to wake up at 4 to be productive, blah, 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 shower, blah, blah. COVID told us, no. Calm down. Around the world, people even saw that their employees who are working from home were putting 2 hours and more productive
than coming into the office.
Yeah, but in the office, what are you doing? Every time your supervisor is running, when you're pretending to be very busy, and when they fuck off, now you're gossiping
and fucking your colleagues.
Yes, I never thought I'd hear that from you. Hey, good on you. Good on you.
Maurice.
Yes. At least you know people are fucking in the office. Brilliant. There's a lot of that happening.
My information. But it happens.
No.
Office husbands and wives are
Yeah. And you see, the thing is this. If you really break down the science, is if you have a significant other, you're seeing them 8-10 hours a week. You're spending 40-60 hours with other human beings. You will be more inclined to share things with the person in the office. After some point, you and I will be soulmates because we share our she does. So we'll have a delusional sense of you and I are so connected because you get me.
But why are you calling it a delusion?
It's a delusion because if I come and tell you, by the way, I've decided to leave my wife for you.
It's because we have really connected.
No. I think your viewers understand where I'm going with the story. Sometimes our thrill is based on the fact that you have your person and have mine. If one of us there changes that dynamic,
the whole thing.
Now it was fun when I knew you had somebody, but now you are relinquishing that person for me to have you all the time. I don't want you all the time. I love the fact that I miss you, yet I'm not supposed to miss you.
I love the fact that I have to meet with you sneaky.
Yes, I've met women who tell me, I love my husband, but there's a guy I have lunch with in the office, and I love him. I'll never tell him, but I love that dude. He makes me feel like a woman. He's not hitting on her. It's how attentive he is to her. He knows her coffee is made in a certain way. He knows there's some croissants from God knows where that she likes. He's not doing this to katia her. He's just understood this is my love language or this is my friend language. Yet the husband
doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't give a shit. He's not of a background to even know what to give a shit about.
Oh.
You know, sometimes we say he doesn't give a shit. He's never seen this before. It's like men who tell me, I've never seen my father kiss my mother. So when my wife keeps asking me why I don't kiss her that much, there's not a lot of kissing happening in our home.
Oh.
So kissing never became a thing.
Now that you have talked about kissing,
yes,
let's get into our questions more.
Let's do this.
Hi, number one. Someone went to your page and had a lot of vagina conditioning. What does it mean?
Vagina conditioning. I'm asked this question so many times, and it's almost like the answer mutates. But vagina conditioning is this: if you don't sexualize the vagina, it's a muscle. It's called the vulva. Yes, it has your clitoris, it has your labia, it has your majora, where your pubic hair is. It has a sequence of functional parts that need conditioning, the way you take your car for service.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Let's assume you bought a car and you didn't know much about servicing. 9 months in, the car is slower, it's draggy. You don't know about servicing. Somebody tells you, let me take your car to somebody. And then when I bring it back, you notice, hey, when you press on the accelerator, the car is moving. It's like it's got more power. So what you're doing is, by default, the vagina is not designed to have orgasms. These orgasms we talk about, first and foremost, we talk about orgasms. The majority talk about orgasms as something I must elicit for a woman to have an orgasm. Yet the orgasm comes from the woman, not the man.
Yeah.
Men have never given a woman an orgasm because they don't own the vagina. What they've done is they've given the vagina muscle stimulus for it to be able to have spasms that then translate into that explosion we call an orgasm. You see what I'm saying? It's like if I massage your body, at some point you'd be like, oh my God, I feel so good. That's conditioning your body.
Ooh.
A week later, you might even say, wow, my hands and my elbows and my arms, they feel so flexible and relaxed because I conditioned them to that. So you condition the vagina, and especially the G-spot memory, to swell. When it starts to swell is when a woman's able to have an orgasm. No woman has an orgasm because of the man. That's more of a romanticized thing. And there's also this male and female relationship stuff, and yet we're in a world right now where there's an assortment of different sexual preferences and orientations. So it's about the stimulus you give the vagina for it to respond.
Okay.
Yeah. So once it's conditioned, then you start owning your orgasm. You need to own your orgasm.
What does that mean?
It means that your vagina becomes so sensitive that the touch is reduced in regards to it doesn't need a lot of stimulus, it just needs a bit of stimulus. The only thing that is definitely out of my control, and this has been confirmed by women whose vaginas I've conditioned, is even though the vagina is conditioned, you are going to be playful with somebody with the vagina. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have sex with somebody.
Yes.
What is out of my control and her control is, if the person partaking, if the sex is based on an obligation, is based on a routine, then your sexual body is not engaging the way it would. Whereas when she has an experience out of town, she has multiple squirting orgasms. But in the house, she's struggling because in the house she's spreading her legs because she has to, because it's a sequence of events, that has caused her to go like, oh my God, I just want to be. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And the same applies to even men. It's only men don't share this. A man needs to feel sexually aroused for him to want to have sex. There's this misconception that men are always ready for sex.
Oh, there's a question for you about it.
Okay.
And it says, sorry, I'm trying to get it. No. Oh God, where is it? What makes a man go low on sex urge? We both agree it's an issue in our relationship and we want to know why. Why is the man low on sex urge? He doesn't feel like having sex.
Maybe they've just gotten to that point where sex for him is not wise in the relationship.
What do you mean?
If you equate your relationship value based on sex, then you're losing the plot. Now, a lot of people may find that strange because I'm always talking about sex. But there's talking about sex in terms of empowering people about it, but there's also when it is needed. he may not be wanting to have sex because for him, sex is not where their relationship is at.
Is he not wanting, or is just he doesn't have the urge?
He doesn't have the urge.
Okay.
And now the people will ask, okay, but if he doesn't have the urge, does that mean he doesn't love her?
Yeah.
Love is not
It's
sexual.
not attractive.
We sexualize love.
Okay.
That's why we damage our relationships.
Okay.
Just because you're female and I happen to sleep with you, how I feel about you when I say I love you, it shouldn't be sexualized.
Okay.
You see, if my sister sat here and I say I love you, no one's going to sexualize that.
Yeah.
But when I say, Lydia, I love you, people sexualize it. Yet
With each other.
Yet the love I have for you and the love I have for her is that genuine feeling of you're my person. And person is not relationship wise. Like you're the human who I will always want to be in your space. So we wrong love by sexualizing it.
Oh.
We complicate it by sexualizing it. Because then now I feel obligated that I have to have sex with you all the time.
Alright.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I may have met you and I wanted to have sex with you because that's the one thing that connected me to you. But now we are pals, now we're doing life, so my urge may reduce. It doesn't mean I don't want to have sex with you, but I may not be as thirsty for it as you. That's the one thing people need to understand, that two people, there will always be one person who's more sexualized. But that is one category. The other category is they're probably in a place where they need to sit down and really ask each other, are we still sexually attracted to one another?
Because physical attraction has to be there?
Yes, for me to have sex.
Or does it mean are we still attracted to one another?
There are people who live together, they're die-hard friends, but they no longer find each other sexual because it doesn't come as a package.
Alright.
Your urge to have sex with somebody can decline because there are other things you have connected another level. See, my issue with this is this. As men were told, you guys are always thinking about sex. Why can't it be about emotions and connections? What if this guy is at that level?
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Instead of the narrative of, if he doesn't want to have sex with you, he must be having it with somebody else.
We're just not finding it
Yet,
attractive.
if the question was, is it normal that my guy wants sex 5 times a week? That's another problem. So which one do we want? Do we want 5 times?
Do we want twice?
Or do we want once in a while? You see? So we always find a problem where there's no problem. Always.
But when a woman is asking such a question,
Yes.
why the man sex,
Yes,
it's
but-
because their urge is up.
Yes. Theirs is up and his is low. But she also needs to really, she has instincts. For her to ask that question, there's probably much more to that story than you and I do not know.
Yeah. There's always a story.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe she's noticed that even though they're not having sex at home, whenever they're out, he's just macking on women. So he's thinking, hold on. So if you're not paying attention to me, yet I can see you're clearly paying attention. And maybe sometimes you can see he has a boner when they're out there, but in the house he doesn't. There's that story. Now that tells me there's a problem between the two that they need to sit down and talk about. Things don't just fix themselves.
Yeah.
And I need people to just remove this notion that just because we're in a relationship, sex works.
No.
Our bodily parts that are usually indulging in the sex are not aware that anyone is in a relationship. Your vagina will never know you have a boyfriend or a husband. That's your conscious mind.
Yeah.
What your conscious mind wants versus what your vagina wants can be two very different things. But the problem is we package love as, like, because we're in love or we are in a loving environment, that everything comes as a package. That's not how life works.
It doesn't work. Next question.
Yeah.
Why do most men compare their penis size to that of pornography sites? And which one do you think is the best, length or girth?
Girth.
Maurice?
Not wrong with length, but girth, you see, length, unless you're measuring like a ruler, then it makes sense. But girth is what spreads the G-spot memory?
I was dating someone a
Yes.
few months ago,
Yeah.
and they have, according to me,
Yeah.
Lydia Wanjiru,
Yes.
they have the best penis size. It's short, but it's full of girth.
Okay.
It's thick.
Yeah.
And for me, it worked for me perfectly.
There you
But this is a person who I think have an insecurity towards their penis.
Okay.
Because each time we are talking anything sexually related,
Yeah.
his penis has to enter the topic. You women love those pornography penis, those big ones, long one. And I'm saying, and I keep telling him, maybe other women, people have different preferences.
Correct.
I'm your girlfriend, right? I love your penis. Your penis is
You're it.
my type.
Yeah.
But this person, that insecurity trickled down to his sex performance,
Okay.
and it trickled down to us party ways. Because if you don't believe your machine is working, and I've told you countless times,
Yes.
and we have had great sex, but at the end of the day, your insecurity, because it's mental, things didn't work out, and it really irritated me. So
Okay.
why do men compare their penis? Is it an insecurity thing that most men
So let me
have?
ask you a question, because you've shared something that's close to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this experience before with any other guy?
Of?
Insecurity about his penis?
No.
Okay. So we're talking about this particular guy. Not that it's a real thing. Insecurity for penis is a real thing. But now, if you really break down where this comes from is, whatever you thought you enjoyed, he thought he should have given more.
But I've said I'm enjoying it. I've told him.
Listen, let me give you an example.
Okay.
And your male viewers will understand why I have to give this example. There have been times where a guy has asked a woman, babe, there's once when you were high, you talked about some ex you had who had a big dick. And she's like, yeah, I had a big dick. What's the problem? So, do I give it to you the way you used to? And she says, no, his dick was bigger, but you fucked me better. You know that guy has not had anything like fuck me better. He just had bigger. He's stuck on that word.
Oh.
That word has demoralized him. What has he been told? You do what better? You do me better.
Yeah.
That guy can never do me the way you do me. But him has not heard that. He's fixated on that word, bigger.
Funny enough, I think I made such a statement. And I said it used to hurt me.
The minute you use the word big, it could have crucified your entire body, but him, he just had big. It could have been coming through your nose and he had big. He heard there is something that was bigger than me.
Oh God.
And that's where his fixation was. In his head, he's saying, every time she says I'm better, she's just saying that to be polite because I'm the dude. That's how he translates it. You see? It's the same way a woman, you can see an ex, and then you start asking, like, is she better than me? And then you're like, no, babe. And then in your head you're thinking,
she has a bigger bum than me, so do me I'm better than her.
You see? Same thing. So now her bum or her vagina becomes a thing in your head. Every time we're having sex, instead of thinking what we're doing, you're thinking of her. So that's what happened to your ex. And so many men are struggling with that. And it's because sex has become a sport. It's become who is the mandingo, who is the men of men. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why when I talk about the Masimba movement, the Masimba movement is not struggling in this department because the Masimba movement knows that I just need to harness the skills of knowing how to seduce your body. Yes, if I can just penetrate you regardless of my penis size, and I nibble your earlobe slowly, as I throb within you slowly, and I listen to your breathing, at some point we'll have some kinetic energy going on, so it'll be like tantric sex, so I'll make you have orgasms that another guy can't. If I go down on you and I start playing with your clitoris or your labia and I take time and I start vacuum sucking and I take time, you have this explosive scream because you're having a crazy orgasm. That's the Masimba way. Because at the end of the day, our biggest competition is not even other men, big penises, small penises that come through your mouth. That's not our biggest struggle. Our biggest struggle as men is women who know how to do this shit better than us.
Oof.
There are female friends I have, if they go down on your chick, or they'll go down on your chick.
They will take you out.
Oh, she'll start moaning in ways that you've not yet discovered. You and your Coca-Cola bottle penis. Never got another.
So it's nothing to do with the penis.
Exactly. It's all to do with the stimulus and understanding how our bodies vibrate together. Is it an egotistic thing that I can have girth that fills your vagina and as a man I feel good? Yes, but let that not be the standard. Because guess what? Not all men are going to be blessed with the same penises. And even the ones we think are doing a lot of work are not doing the work. It's in our heads.
They don't even have the right tool for it.
Why do you think every time a woman's in a position with a man and she happens to whisper or say it in a certain way just to indicate that whatever you're doing, please do not stop? What does the man do? He changes gears. Because in a man's head, in his heart, whatever you're doing, if you just accelerate, I swear my ears will pop.
Why do they interpret?
Because of ego. People need to stop fucking with ego. You see, how I indulge your body and how I indulge somebody else, the results will be the same. Mm-hmm. But how I cause you to be able to squirt, mm-hmm. for you it could be much slower than somebody else who likes it slightly faster. I'll only get to know that if I'm keenly listening to how your body is reacting. I'm keenly positioning your legs in a way that's comfortable for you and for me. But if we're not doing this, if we're just doing things very haphazard and in a rush, and just because, I've brought my big penis, let's just hope for the best, sex is going to be boring.
And I've bought you chips and chicken.
There you go. I like the way you just slid in the chips.
So I have to get in there, release myself and go. I don't care.
Okay.
Why haven't you worn your vagina?
I knew you were going to ask that.
What?
No, I just said, you know what, today, let me just do something plain. Yeah, let me not do any vagina.
Oh, you're doing that something plain on Get Naked with Lydia.
Well, we're discussing nakedness.
Yeah, and we needed you to come in uniform. Anyway, no problem.
Okay.
The next question.
Yes.
Most women have had an orgasm but never squirted. Is there a vagina that can never squirt? And is it a guarantee that after I have a session with you, Maurice, my vagina gets conditioned and I'll start squirting? Okay,
first let me correct her.
I think there are two parts.
Yeah. Let me correct her by saying that most women around the world will never have an orgasm. 90% of women from birth to death will never achieve an orgasm.
Oh, Maurice, why are you giving sad news?
No, because it's a fact.
No matter how much you condition it?
No. That's because they don't have access or knowledge of conditioning.
Thank God you exist.
So 10% of women around the world have achieved an orgasm, but out of that 10%, only 1% can tell you, like 8 out of 10 times, have had an orgasm. So orgasms are not a vaginal default setting. That's just fact. Mm-hmm. Most women telling men I've come haven't come. The men are thinking I've done my best, or she doesn't respond to me, or she doesn't love me. It's got nothing to do with that.
Or she doesn't know.
Her vagina is not conditioned. First, this conditioning thing, I having learned to be a sexologist, is nothing new, because when those Caucasians we were talking about, when they came here, mm-hmm. we had a lot of boot camps all over Africa before it was separated and divided into these countries that we know of. Mm-hmm. We had cultures where sex was not sexualized, sex was just something you taught, and sex was teachings of how the human body responds. Mm-hmm. So these pools of women who are squirting in parts of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Zaire, and parts of Egypt, when the Caucasian went around Africa, he noticed, I read this when I was abroad, he noted that the African woman tends to urinate when she's pleasured by her man. They didn't have the word squirting, because that's pretty new. So they just saw a phenomenon where she looked like she was urinating. But when they tested it, it wasn't urine. So that tells me African women have just been, our sexuality has just been erased over a long, long time.
Oh.
We used to have that. It wasn't a TZ thing. It was a entire Africa. It was entire Africa. Not just a Uganda thing. Yes. My tribe, the Kamba, we used to have boot camps. But the minute religion infiltrated us, all those boot camps were rubbished. And that's why sex was demonized. So we just need to go back to our traditional ways. If we can find those books, most of them are destroyed, but if we can find, I'm always looking for, if I can find material, authentic material, not made up material, of how we were 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, I would be ablaze. Because that would tell us what being an African used to look like. Whatever you and I say is African, is the fact that we're African by skin. But our cultures today are what the Muzungu taught us.
They really robbed us.
You see? So
is it a guarantee that after a session with you for vagina?
Yeah, as long as she brings her vagina, yes. The penis, I've never made a penis squirt, and I'm not looking forward to that either. So as long as she brings her vagina, yes, I'll conditioning and she'll be able to squirt.
All right.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes.
Another question, is masturbation and use of sex toys addictive, and can it affect how you have sex with your partner?
I hate that question because it's a demonization of sex in itself. Sex toys were designed scientifically to give a stimulus. For example, if you bought something that looked like a dong, like it's a massage dong. People buy massage dongs.
Yeah.
Some women even use them on their clitoris because it's vibrating on my shoulder. It might as well vibrate on my clitoris. But no one complains when it's a massage. No one says, okay, this massage, oh my
so
God, no one says that is going to interrupt sex with a partner. Yet, what I was feeling right now in pretense is probably better than a lot of sex happening. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's only now when it comes to
the vagina. It becomes
taboo. The truth is this: sex toys are good for you. Not everyone's going to have a sex toy, but they are good for you. Can a sex toy pleasure you better than your partner? Yes, but guess what? Your partner is the fault, not the sex toy. I've had sex toys from when I was a young guy. I've always had sex toys, but I've never competed with sex toys because I don't need to. My tongue can vibrate just like a sex toy. My tongue has made a woman squirt in my mouth so many times. So I'm not going to start competing with a sex toy because I know what that mechanism does. And sometimes I'm not in the mood to have an erection. So then you squirt and then we sleep. But now if I'm selfish and say, I'm not in the mood, so no one in this house should be in the mood. So even a sex toy should just chill. Come on. So then what happens? How many women then have to wait for the guy to sleep? And then she goes to the washroom and she completes her thing. Why do you have to go down that road?
You are choking on your own breath.
Yeah, why do we have to go down that road? Why can't we have some balance? And after all, are people saying that I'd rather find avenues where my partner doesn't need to be with another humanoid than have sex toys? They're brilliant. Let me tell you this. I've met men who are skeptical. Then I introduce them to a sex toy. Those men today will tell me, hey, Maurice, you have saved me, man. You saved me. Even when Mama is going on some seminar, I'm the one who backs them for.
And he knows she's
Yes,
secure.
because I know those Neanderthals in your office, they want to do you.
So, but what is the balance? Because her first part of the question was, is masturbation addictive in sex toys? What's the balance?
Anything is addictive.
All right, yeah.
The whiskeys we take are addictive. The gin we take are addictive.
The juices.
Yes, yet we take them more than we play with sex toys. People play with sex toys once in a while. I own sex toys, but I don't use them every week. So where's the addiction? I'm taking coffee every week. I'm taking tea every week. I'm having a drink with my friends every week. How come we're not discussing that addiction? I'm even putting foods that I shouldn't be putting in my mouth if I'm not looking at my health. How come no one's talking about that? It's just when it comes to sex, but can this be addictive? The thing is this, sex toys are good for you. Endorse them. Masturbation, there's nothing wrong with masturbation. Women who masturbate at least 3 times a week will always enjoy sex more than those who don't. Basic, you're training your mind and your vagina to interlink. You know yourself very well. You'll even make it easier for your sexual partner to please you because you know yourself. But when you have a dormant vagina that you don't even understand yourself, how is he supposed to understand it? I have the privilege of passionately learning the vulva. I wasn't born as Maurice Matheka and I knew vaginas.
You don't even own one.
Exactly. There's a time I was not even good at kissing. I was 15 and I was told by a girl, no, don't kiss like that. You're not a fish. But I grew up in a generation.
Wasn't your ego hard?
No, that's where I was going.
Okay.
My generation's ego was not fragile like the young people today.
Ooh.
We allowed ourselves. When she told me I couldn't kiss, I was like, but I'm willing to learn. Show me, girl. See, our attitude is different. Whereas today, if you tell a guy he doesn't know how to kiss, he starts stabbing you. So we've got, yes. So exactly, there you go. Kumbe, you know them. So today, guys have become very fragile.
And it's all about their ego.
Yes, and that is why you'll always find that my generation are not going to have these deep traumas. Oh, and that's another thing. I am done listening to people misuse words.
Traumas and
One
depression.
of them is trauma. There are people undergoing trauma. So just because you've had a rough patch, it's not trauma. It was just a rough patch. Yeah, that's why they used to do this. Yeah. Pat yourself, stand up and move forward. Something small happens to somebody. Oh, I've been traumatized, blah, blah, blah. People who go to war.
Oof, PTSD.
Yes, that's trauma. Yes. The little thing that happened to you yesterday, that was not traumatizing. That was just part of life. Sometimes things just don't work or go your way. That's not trauma. I've seen both men and women using that word too often.
Mine is depression. People are broke and they're calling it depression.
Yes.
I'm depressed.
No.
You don't have money.
Yes, that's it. And guess what? Do you know how many people don't have money, yet they're not depressed?
They're happy.
You actually have, what you're telling me is, look at it this way. When you go to the village and you find a guy in a hut, his toilet is outside.
Yeah.
He has no electricity.
Yep.
But when you go to that guy's hut, he feeds you. You even wonder where the food came from. And he's smiling.
And
You're the one telling him, it would be very disrespectful for you not to eat in my house. And you eat. The guy who's depressed in Nairobi is living in Kilimani. His depression is, where's my 60 G's, 40,000 for rent coming from? Why are you living in a 40,000 house?
If you know it is going to stress you every month.
Yes. I'm not saying you go to a hut, but balance your life.
Know where you're overspending.
Yes. I've gone to a guy's house, his fridge is empty, but his apartment is posh.
What is he eating? The furnitures?
Poshness.
Yo, miss me with that.
You see what I'm saying?
They are misusing the word.
Yes, and you only indulge yourself in that when you start living your life for others, not for yourself.
Ooh, that is Nairobi. We are living life for others.
But how many Nairobians fucked off to shags during COVID?
And they got stuck there and they never came back.
Exactly. And they'll tell you they're more peaceful. They're not missing all these malls.
And they're becoming rich.
Yes. Because they found how to make money out there.
And their lifestyle is not stressful.
No.
They can afford it aimlessly.
Yes.
What? Oh, shit.
You see, so...
Wanagongana mabega huku kwa street. When the stage, mabega karibu inatokana. People are a lot in Nairobi. Have you ever walked on Tomboya Street in the evening?
Okay, I would like people to know this. I have a phobia for the CBD. I can go for 3-4 years without going to CBD.
Yo. You must be lucky.
No, it's not luck. It's just most of my business doesn't require me to go to CBD. When I really have to go to the CBD, I have a phobia. Number one, I hear the CBD nowadays is safer than before.
Yeah, it is.
I'm trusting no one. So if you call me, I'll never answer the phone in the CBD. Yeah. I'll enter a building
and pick it from
and also monitor the building. I could have entered where the thugs are, and then I'll answer the call. That's how I have a phobia for CBD.
CBD is crazy.
Yes, so
it's crazy.
I just
if you can avoid it, the better.
I do.
Another question, Maurice.
Yes.
I take time to foreplay, whether alone or with my partner, but I never get wet sometimes, especially when I'm doing it with my partner, or I get dry in the middle of sex. What might be the problem?
You're having obligational sex.
Oh, yeah, with duty.
Yes. The worst thing about us humans is we're in denial. Her vagina is not aware she's in a relationship. So what her vagina is receiving is crap. Her mind's doing it because this is my dude and we must have sex and I also want to give him sex, but I also want to give him sex comes from a place of I have to give him sex.
If I don't, he will cheat.
Yes, or if I don't, we'll have a dome or he'll sulk or something. So it's something you've trained yourself to do because it becomes a chore. You flower it up, sometimes you'll even go get some nice lingerie and stuff like that. Yes, but the lingerie and your vagina are not communicating.
Two different people.
Yeah, so your lingerie makes you feel sexy. And sometimes, that's the other problem, you are thinking the lingerie is going to change the vagina mood.
Boy.
The vagina is not going to be checking and going like, well, the lingerie has covered us up, but now we're just blind. Because this lingerie is still going to be on the floor at some point, and then this non-magician guy is going to come and do his normal thing. So it's flatlined. It's not even a blame game. It's just where you're at. Even that guy, he just ejaculates because he has that function of ejaculation. If you ask him how is sex with mama, he'd be like, see, it's just kawa. See me, I enter, I pump, I come, we sleep. So for both of them, it's boring, but they have to tell each other, babe, Aki Jana was nice.
Liars.
Jana was the bomb.
Liars.
Yeah, the only bomb was the shock that's happening with the vagina. In his penis, he got erect and he sustained erection. And he penetrated the warmth of a vagina. At some point, he's going to ejaculate. But there's nothing magical about it. Matter of fact, he will be able to tell you, nowadays, ejaculating is like drinking water. I just ejaculate. And if I don't ejaculate, she'll say, how come you didn't come inside me? Because you know you've been coming inside. I mean, Kenyans, we create stories. And because I'm not coming inside you now, but I must be coming inside somebody else. How does that even work?
We're always looking for a problem.
There you go. Yeah, we do that a lot.
But now, what can she do?
Okay. Couples need to sit down and talk. The problem is couples don't talk. Couples think that these things just work by themselves. You must talk it out. You must say, you know what, when we met, what's that ingredient that we don't have today? And it's a simple fact is when we met, our sex used to be something we did because it was fun. Now we do it because we have to. How do we make it fun, babe? Can we play act? Can you change your name? You're not Lydia, I'm not Maurice. Can we go to another setting? Can we tease each other? You know, can I serve you wine or you serve me wine or whatever it is you're drinking? Can we cook naked? Let's try something that even if in some high moment, we have in the morning we'll wake up and we'll be like, wow, what happened last night? If you don't do that, if you're relying on love,
Maurice,
if you're relying on love to ignite something between your legs, y'all are gonna be waiting for a minute.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Changing setup, spicing things.
Yes.
Communicating.
Yeah, but also, we can't be in the sitting room arguing over bills.
And then
when we shift to the bedroom, now we know we've got other duties, and those duties are gonna work. Nah. Then your vagina won't work. Yeah, because now you're remembering some facial expressions I was giving you in the sitting room. And you're thinking, yeah, I know what you're thinking when you give me that visual expressions. I, as a man, I'm thinking, at least I get to nut. I know we argued, but I get to nut. That's it.
The next question, what are the natural viagras for men and women, e.g. food?
Right. People tend to use that word.
Viagra.
No, natural. Many things we consume are not natural.
Yeah.
A lot of plants we take today that are allegedly healthy were designed in a lab, or the seed was designed in a lab. So, the result looks beautiful, but you've got to look at what the lab did for it to look like that. I don't recommend any foods, but in particular, look at it this way. Celery. Celery. If you Google it, it's like a plant that looks like it has a lot of water in it, and it's like lime green in color. And you can find it in most markets around the country, even in the rural areas. If you take celery as a lifestyle, the problem with Kenyans think medicine. For your body to be optimized, it's like your car, you need to continuously fuel it. Since you bought your car, you always fuel it so it moves.
Yeah.
Same happens to our body. So you have to take celery, and because it has a quiet taste, you can mix celery and watermelon. So celery becomes like 80%, watermelon's 20%. If you've got blender or better a juicer, then you take that as a lifestyle. The way I'm taking this coffee, so assume I take coffee every morning. I can now take the celery smoothie either in the morning or in the evening. Matter of fact, remove this bowl of fruits you usually take after food, do the celery. If you do that over time, I've seen a lot of, especially women, tell me that their orgasms became stronger.
Allah?
Yes. But you see, the degree will vary from one woman to another, but taken over a long time, it works.
So now one day.
The shortcut to all this is there are plant-based supplements that I usually import for my clients that are in a capsule form. It's not medicine, it's not synthetic. It's like this leaf, let's assume this leaf was nutritious. And then it's dried, it's blended, it's put in a capsule. That's it. But now, most of these companies are abroad, they're not in Kenya. And whatever herbalists we used to have back in the day, we don't have many that understand the herbs that are good for our sexual bodies. So I usually import for my clients. But if you just start, just a simple manner, celery and watermelon can really work. Most of our proteins and especially carbohydrates are not good for us. One thing, Kenyans, we eat too much carbohydrates. Our ugalis, our chapatis, they're not good for us. They're not good for us. We also take a lot of sugar, which we shouldn't. Yeah, I'm 9 years in not taking sugar, and I feel amazing. And I was a sugar guy. I was like a 4-6 teaspoon sugar kind of guy.
Ooh, in one cup?
Yes, in one cup. So I know my sugar. Yeah, so the only sugar I'm dealing with right now is vaginas. Amazing.
Maurice, next question. It's been a year of us having sex and he has never come. What's the problem?
Look at your facial expression.
Wait, I wrote this and I had the same expression and now reading it. Can a man not come?
Yes.
Why?
Not because, you see, I'm only speculating based on what I know can happen. There's a guy who's not able to come because he has a blockage of between where his semen is produced and the outlet of the urethra. So sometimes when he wants to come, he feels like there's air instead of, so he may have a blockage. That's one reason. The other is he may have another underlying issue where he's not producing semen. See, for you to come, there has to be a production of semen.
True.
If you stop that factory from production, he won't come. So for her, he probably comes like, the feeling, but nothing comes out.
Is that possible?
Yes, it is.
He feels
He feels the sensation, but there's no ejaculant. See, a woman knows we call coming the ejaculation, yet for us men, it's what we feel when we're ejaculating. You get?
Yeah.
There's a guy who may not produce the semen, but he'll feel a sensation. Obviously, the sensation of semen traveling through your urethra gives it more pleasure, but there's a guy who has a default system. So, in many places around the world, by now she would have asked him, can you go and see a urologist at least? And he would have. But now try having that conversation with a lot of African men.
You will hurt his ego.
And you see, unless we hurt each other's egos a bit, we won't move forward.
Yeah.
And this is the most unfortunate thing. Let's assume you are my pal. You're my chick pal. But mama doesn't like you. I'm able to tell you, by the way, when I'm with mama, I don't ejaculate semen. Look how I'm freely talking with you. You think I can have this conversation with the woman I sleep with? The woman I tell every day how much I love her. And I can never love another the way I love her. Like me and her, ride or die. But when it comes to my ejaculation, you're the only person I can talk to. See that nonsense?
Yeah.
It is here. It is bred here. We need to move away from that crap. If we are not allowing ourselves to bruise each other's egos, we won't move forward. I mean, look at it this way. If you're a boss at work, do bosses look at the employees and go like, no, I don't want to tell you that you're not doing too well, your performance is a bit, because I don't want to break your ego. No. Exactly. So how come we can apply it at work, but we don't apply it where it really matters, at home? At work, you apply it so that that person improves performance.
And they do.
But at work, at home, aren't we talking about performance that needs to be improved?
Someone's ego.
Yes, but the ego needs to be dented. It's the way you think about it. If my woman tells me, you used to come but now you don't come, all she's told me is there's something I used to see, it's not happening. I'm not going to be bruised by it. But because of these flaky people nowadays, they're bruised by small things.
Next question.
Yeah.
What makes... Oh, this is the first one we asked. How do I spice up sex in my marriage where normal doesn't seem to be possible anymore? We are not having sex and nobody is talking about it.
Okay, first, let's remove the words. These words spice up. They're not adding any value.
Really?
You're not spicing anything up. You're first establishing why sex died.
And is it
it's
true
not
that
spice.
it died or someone is having it somewhere else?
No. You see, it died in your house. Yeah. Now, when we start speculating who else is receiving it, it's not helping our house. True or false?
True.
And let's assume somebody else is being given it. What you going to do about it? You think stopping that person from receiving is going to improve this? So let's sort this. It could be as simple as, there's a time you call me weak. There's a time I called you less prettier. And instead of you telling me that how I engaged you was wrong, you took it to heart. In your head you said, I forgive him, but did you really forgive me? No. That's why at some point you withdrew from sex, and I've noticed. And vice versa. There are things people tell each other that can easily trigger a sequence of events where at some point we're not going to be having sex. So they don't need to spice anything up. First, there's nothing to spice. First, you need to find out, can we revive whatever needs spicing? The word spicing, that's not going to improve anything. Yes. And they also, and this is what humans fear, sometimes you're asking questions to find out, are we still in the same place? Because I've met women who have told me, I love my husband, but he no longer does it for me sexually. Actually, when he tries to have sex with me, I cringe. So I just have to just close my eyes, spread my legs, and hope he comes really fast so we can sleep. She's just And that's not, I don't love him. It's our bodies change what they like.
And nobody's speaking.
There's nothing forever as delusional. Let me repeat that. There's nothing lasts forever just because you want it to last forever.
You have to work on it.
Look at it this way. I've seen affairs last longer than relationships. Why? Because they put work into the affair. Our affair is you're not mine, but I'm going to make sure every month I see you. So I plan it out. It's intentional. I even know where we're going to be in August. I know we're going to be in October.
And the person you're living with?
That one, I don't even know if the vagina is still in between the legs. Maybe it's only just
shifted. Oh my God. So it's in the communication, basically.
Yes, but this the communication, what is it? It's just when people get too used to ignoring that lustful, playful nature it has to be there. We must have play dates. I cannot be in a relationship with you and just hope that telling you I love you is what equates to good sex. It doesn't. Those are just words I've uttered. Sometimes we give them more meaning than they really need. Like, when I say I love you, it doesn't mean it's not as powerful as you think it is. It could just be a routine that I'm good at.
Sure.
Whereas there's somebody else who I never have to tell her I love her, but our engagement sexually is on point.
Oh.
Yeah, so also we have to look at our communication needs to be based on things that are real, things that are tangible, things I can feel, rather than things that I say because I have to say them.
Next question.
Yeah.
I had an ex that introduced me to having sex on my periods. Now my current boyfriend doesn't even want to hear about it. I enjoy sex when I'm in my periods, and I feel most orgasmed. Like her most
orgasms are when she's on her period.
On her period.
Which is understandable, yes.
How do I tell him I want to have sex when I'm in my periods?
He'll never change.
Oh.
He'll never change. You can't teach him how to have sex when she's on her period. For him, it's probably the most unnatural thing ever. It's like trying to train a guy who believes that vaginas are dirty, so he'll never go down on a woman. I gave up trying to discuss with that guy. So, she chose.
But he's always pushing someone's head down there.
Exactly, and I have a rule. If you're being asked to deliver, you also have to receive. It's as simple as that, man. Why is she putting her mouth on your penis if you can't put your mouth on her vagina? It's as simple as that. And you see, that's why I've enforced this Masimba movement. Masimba men don't have these issues. And like I always say, man, men will drive cars, but not all men are going to be Formula One drivers. For me.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, so that guy is not going to change. I feel her and everything, but she chose him. And you see, people find it strange, yeah? Because of your experiences. When people are courting to get into another relationship, when you're in these Javas and art cafes, what that whole nonsensical crap you talk about, that should have been one of the things she discussed.
They're talking about favorite colors and...
Yes, what are you, an architect, so now I have to pretend that I'm interested in your architecture. Oh my God, you're so intelligent. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, you should have been asking this nigga. And sometimes you ask questions, like for example, have you ever had sex with a woman when she's on her period? If the guy cringes, then you know, ooh, okay, that box, we ain't taking. Then now you decide, having all the information,
are you going to proceed or not?
Yes. The problem is, can you imagine if I go out on a date with a woman and I strangely not profess who I am and the things I like, and then later in the relationship I realize this one doesn't do this, she doesn't do that. I can't bitch about it because part of the problem is me. I didn't tell her that I can be a bit freaky and a bit nasty. Yet how she's telling me, oh my God, no. You know, when you take you to shags, you need prayers. Really?
Oh God.
Yeah, so whatever an ex used to do doesn't mean that your future is gonna avail the same things. That's just, and it's us, we are the problem, because we should have said, these are some of the things that I can do. Like right now in your audience, the guys were thinking like, hey, we need to replace that nigga. What that guy talking about? You need to be inside there like no other business. But that's that guy, can't change him.
But why is it always that women are willing to try out things that their men prefer, partners prefer, just to please them and also to find out whether they like it or not.
Okay.
But when it comes to the other way around, women expressing their preferences, it's like, where did you even learn about that? Whether you are a prostitute.
We unfortunately still live in a hierarchy society, whether we like it or not. What I always find strange is these woke personalities that keep talking about the indifferences and all these societal pressures, blah blah. They're a very small pool of people, and when they go to shags in December, I never see them sit down with their dads and their uncles and tell uncle, wait uncle, from now on, your traditionals do what ati, women should be in that room, men are in that room. Does it happen in shags or not? Am I speaking the truth or not?
You're speaking the truth.
So why are you shouting in Lavington and in Kilimani? Small group. But when you go to shags, you're not holding the same ground. I'll respect you. You're not doing that. So when you're in Lavington, zip it until you can start a movement in shags. Then I'll respect you.
We don't want to be cancelled by our family members.
My family members cancel me, and I don't give a shit because I live my life. You'll always find people will resonate with you when you have a stand and you stick to it. When you start doing things because you want to please others, you will lose yourself. And also they will not the people you think respect you,
they won't respect.
They'll be like, look at this one. She doesn't even have a mind of her own. But when you stick your guns, you find people you thought would never respect you, they'll be like, hey, I respect you. You'll be shocked. Why? Because you don't expect them to respect you. You think they hate you. They don't. They love the fact that you're out of the mold.
You're doing your own stuff.
Yes.
And nothing is shaking.
Exactly. So we're always going to have a society where women want to please the man and the men are the receivers. Women are the givers. But now when we move away from procreational sex and we look at recreational sex, and that's why you find today the conservative guy's mindset, his mama will be very attracted to a liberal guy. And in these offices we're talking about, the guy's offering. See, you told me during coffee, your guy doesn't go down on you. See, me, I'm offering. See, now it's you to decide whether you want or not. What do you think will happen the day she decides, you know what, fuck it, let's just do this. And then that guy is going to bring his triple A game, not A game. That guy's going to make sure she's squatting in his mouth and stuff like that. Then he tells her, now can I drop you back at your man's place? What's going to happen after that? That guy's going to be munching nothing like anyone's business.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. The last question.
Yes.
So I gave birth 8 months ago, and one of the things I was most worried about was my vagina widening, because my husband keeps talking about how when people give birth, when women give birth, their vagina widen. I've tried and tried to make sure it remains the same, but I have noticed it's not like he's enjoying sex anymore. What do I do?
Okay, first and foremost, it's something the husband said. She said, the husband says, he says that women,
when they give birth,
so
the vagina widens.
First question I would ask is the husband a midwife? I mean, how many vaginas that are giving birth has he seen? You know, sometimes we just come up with stories, from our ass or something. So all that husband is saying is, he's feeling the pressure of being inadequate because he was sold that when a woman gives birth, her vagina becomes the size of the child that came out of it. So now he's trying to compare the size of the child, and especially if he was there to witness. That's why I always don't recommend. There's that sentimental thing, oh, he was there to hold my hands. Fuck that shit. Nigga needs to be outside or somewhere in a...
Maurice, I need my man with me.
Yes, but now it's going to be detrimental to your sex life.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's the romance bit, which is short-lived. There's, you need this guy in your vagina for the long haul. So which one do you want? Romantic snippet, or do you want your vagina serviced? What I've seen over the years is, especially those who have gone to witness, there's something that happens to their brain. And the first thing that happens, like for example, there's a guy, and that guy, I cracked up. That guy, we're having a drink with him, and he said, hey, Brother Maurice, I made a mistake. I went and I watched my wife give birth to our daughter. That child is like 7 kilos, you know, men have to exaggerate.
Yeah.
Versus my 200 grams of peanuts. Are you seeing where the problem is now? Now he's just going to be seeing 200 grams.
And he's 207 kg.
Yes, versus the calf that came out of her vagina.
Good.
And guess what? Unless she had a tear that was not done up well, most vaginas universally contract back to size.
Yeah.
What happens is this, and I need men, your viewers, to understand, it happens to every man who puts himself in a position that you can't handle it psychologically. Her vagina is the same. And there's no such thing as a tight vagina unless you have got a really small penis. Every vagina needs to blossom for girth to gain entry. It even blossoms when you're giving her oral sex, hence why you're able to see the urethra swelling, if you can get her to that point. So at the end of the day, what happens to this guy is, he starts to think about his penis size, and the minute you have a question mark about your penis size, less blood flow goes to the penis.
Ooh.
Flip it this way. Her neighbor knows she has 6 kids. The husband's mindset is, because she's had 6 children, her vagina has become elastic over the years. That's more psychological, not physically fact. The neighbor sleeps with the same woman and says this is one of the tightest vaginas he has ever experienced. Yet how many children
6
have been popped? 6. Now, this is the funny thing. His wife has 1 child. He usually thinks his wife has a loose vagina. Why? Because the struggles he has with the vagina at home is not the struggle he has with the vagina that has 6 kids. The one at home, I judge you harshly. Oh, you gave birth to a child and the vagina has been destroyed by a child. But my neighbor, I don't see her as a woman's vagina has been spread by children. I see her as my next new vagina that I can suck and... Do you see what I'm saying? The energies are different. With you, I'm anxious. With you, oh my God, I don't think my dick is big enough. With her, it's going to be the biggest she's ever seen. Change of psyche. You have 1 child, she has 6. That's the problem that men are having. So it's not her struggle, it's her man's psychology.
Because at times when men cheat and their wives find out, and they are like, how do you go cheating on me with a woman who has given birth? There's no difference. Because at times it even gets to women's head.
And that's because with the other woman, more blood flow goes to his penis, so his penis actually looks bigger. In the house, that blood flow is minimized by his psyche towards his wife.
Vaginas don't expand.
No, they don't. They just don't. I've seen enough to know that they don't.
But now the fact that this person's partner made it even into a statement of, oh, once a woman gives birth, their vagina. So it was a problem before the child was born, and now it's manifesting in no action in the bedroom.
Yes, but now the problem is, he was narrating his struggles, but he made it her struggle.
Oh my God! And women, as women, we know how to carry people's struggles.
Yes, and then now, yeah, of course, and then the thing is, she's thinking my man is no longer going to find me sexy, so she's going to try everything on earth to make sure he enjoys. Yet the only person who has a struggle is him.
Which is mental.
Yes. He's taught himself that his penis is inadequate. How the hell do you control that as the woman?
That's not your business.
And the thing is, I've had this conversation with so many men, and all of them agree. And how, you see, and that's why as men, what we discuss sometimes doesn't really help us, because we discuss it egotistically. Mm-hmm. The way you and I are having a discussion about this is, as much as it's a bit of humor, we're serious. Yeah. But for men to pay attention to you, you must ask the question, have you ever been with a mama who has a lot of kids? And then your penis was so hard and it looked big. Now men will engage. Hey, bro, you've had that. Yeah, man, but at home, I don't know why it's not. Then now you have to explain to him why. Then now he has to go home and only he can rewire how he thinks. Because now you have to ask him, how would you feel if another man now starts looking at your wife the way you look at that other guy's? How? So, yeah, exactly. So, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to scare humans for them to do some soul searching. He needs to have a conversation with his penis and say, you know, we've just been feeling this way because it's all up in here. Mama's vagina hasn't changed. How we perceive it has changed.
Has changed. The last question, Maurice.
Yes.
Are women supposed to use some particular products in terms of soaps, in terms of spices? I see women mixing cloves, I don't know, garlic and putting it in there to tighten it, to spice it, for the man to feel okay. I think this narrative has gone for very many years where women are supposed to do something to their vagina for the man to enjoy. Do you support women using this stuff on themselves?
Okay. Are there products that could help you as long as they're plant-based and you've done enough research? Then it could help you. I mean, there are things you can put in your body that do work. However, I wouldn't encourage you to start drying up clothes and stuff like that, just putting them in the vagina, because first and foremost, okay, a lot of like gynas, some gynas may say that the vagina is self-lubricating, well, self-cleansing and stuff like that. But there are environmental factors that you have to look at. Something as simple as the water in your tap in Nairobi versus the water in Mombasa versus the water in Nanyuki versus the water in Ukambani. All of them come from some treatment plant, true or false?
True.
That treatment plant is treating that water with chemicals that are good for our digestion. That's why we can drink tap water if we want, but we choose to buy bottled water.
Yeah.
Now, that tap water is the one you shower your vagina with, true or false?
True.
And so you'll women shower in, others more, others less in terms of how much water.
Yeah.
Now, the chemical that's keeping it safe for us to drink could easily change your vagina pH. Whereas the water in Nanyuki won't change your pH, because maybe that's spring water. And so when you go to Nanyuki, they always tell you, here we don't buy bottled water. Here, water from the tap, because it's from Mount Kilimanjaro, spring water, blah, blah, blah. And when you taste it, it's different. So you also have to look at the water that you're cleaning your vagina with. As much as it's good for your skin,
you can drink it.
You can drink it, it might not be good for your vagina. So there's that environmental element. There's also the fact that there are some positive bacteria that we do need. And sometimes our overly sanitized environment makes sure we have lack of that bacteria. For example, natural yogurt that has no flavor. I've told a lot of clients around the world, not just in Kenya, to take a syringe, and here's the tub. Take a syringe, take whatever, 50 gram, 100 milliliters of whatever, of the yogurt. Spread your legs and just pump it into your vagina. Hold it for like 20-30 minutes, because that yogurt is going to introduce positive bacteria to your vagina. I've had so many women give me feedback and tell me, wow, that worked.
I thought you're supposed to consume it.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh.
You're supposed to put it in your vagina.
Oh.
Not all women are going to do it. My issue is this. Do research rather than just listening to people telling you stuff.
True.
And please, you mentioned cloves and what?
Cloves and cinnamon.
Okay, so let's assume cloves and cinnamon, if you put them in your vagina, will make your vagina tight. And apparently you're doing it for us men.
Yeah, for you to
Now,
enjoy my vagina.
Yeah, so considering we are the ones who are told we like being inside vaginas, how come men are not the ones that are blending these cloves? See me, I'll just be walking around with a bag of cloves. You see where I'm going with this story?
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes the people who are feeding you information have not researched with us. How many men knew cloves and their penises go together? First and foremost, I don't want a clove anywhere near my penis. And now I taste in my mouth. God knows what's going to do with my penis skin.
It's too spicy.
So some of the things women are doing, that research needs to translate to what it feels for me. It's like the way women always ask me about what's this menthol you put in your mouth? What's it called?
KCL. It's menthol sweet.
That apparently if you give me a blowjob,
we did
like
with that.
I'll really, okay. First and foremost, I don't want menthol anywhere near my penis. I know what it does to my tongue.
Okay. So it's a you as Maurice issue.
No, but there are also a lot of men who will tell you that experimentally we did it and it didn't go very well.
Ooh.
You know the way your tongue sizzles and becomes a bit hot?
Yeah.
I don't want that on my penis. Because at some point I might start screaming.
Because of utamu?
No.
Or because of the menthol?
Because the menthol is doing a number on me. You might as well just applied some chili on my penis. Because things are not working out too well. So some of these things are not researched.
Women get that, by the way. Because I saw the trend on TikTok.
Yeah, but women are gullible in the sense that they're the ones who are sold these things. How come these same guys are not telling us men, considering how you guys like vaginas, so you invest? Here's your menthol stick, here's your cinnamon and God knows what bag. Yes, and whenever you're with the vagina, just stuff this shit inside and you guys will be good. Guys would be ordering trucks of this stuff.
People will be getting rich.
Yes, very rich. But most of it is just hogwash. It just is.
Now, Maurice,
Yes.
I think we have come to the end of the video.
Yes.
But maybe anything you want to add on that, a punchline for us as women. Yeah, I speak for women, and maybe for a few men who are liberal-minded. Because I feel like talking to our men, it's everything to do with ego, and I don't do too well. I hurt so many egos out here. I bruise egos online. Yeah. So tell women something about a vagina that they don't know.
Well, one thing I can repeat is what your conscious mind wants and what your vagina needs are always going to be two things, especially if you're very into what your teachings have told you. You might not be with a partner who's going to give you the orgasm you need. That's just fact. That's just fact. If you feel you're struggling and you're overdoing things to please the other, if you're always trying to sugarcoat your vagina to please a guy who, for him, first and foremost, why are you working so hard for this guy to come in 2 minutes?
Oh my God.
Why are you dressing the vagina for this guy to become a semen dispenser in your vagina? Do you see what I'm saying? When you go to a concert, would you go to a concert where the music ended in 2 minutes?
No.
All that effort, lighting, stage, what, needing decorations.
For 2 minutes.
For 2 minutes.
No.
Yes. So, your vagina is the venue of that concert. Why are you inviting guys who are singing for 2 minutes?
For those who would like to engage you on your services.
Yes.
How can they reach you?
They can reach me at Maurice Matheka on Instagram, on Facebook, or if they go to Instagram or Facebook, they find my number. The easiest way is to just WhatsApp me. I respond at some point. I get busy, but I always respond.
You always respond. What's your number? WhatsApp number?
My number is 0720 229 351.
The first time I viewed your WhatsApp status,
Yes.
I panicked.
Why did you panic?
I was in a matatu.
Okay.
And I rarely view WhatsApp status. I can even go for a whole month without seeing whatever is there.
Yeah.
If you would attack me on WhatsApp status,
You'd probably not know.
I would probably not know.
Ah.
But the first time I viewed your status, I met a whole Masimba
Yes.
with a lady there, and I was like, maybe this girl was sending this to their partner or someone. And then there was whole explanation and status after status, and I was like,
And you saw my captions and everything.
Yes.
I explain what I am posting.
I didn't know that happens.
Yes.
And then after that, I saw it after maybe 2 days. I saw another one. I was like, okay. I want to just ask you one personal question,
Okay.
which you can decide to answer or not.
All right.
How does it feel when you share such on your WhatsApp status? Don't you have maybe contacts that, or you don't give a fuck?
You've answered the question
Sorry.
yourself. I don't give a shit.
You don't give a...
I'm not in the space to give a shit.
Okay. Okay.
I really don't. I don't live for other people, I live for me. I've learned to be comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
you really
that's what
are.
everyone needs to be. Stop doing shit that stresses you because of somebody else.
But I wanted to say something else.
Yes.
Do you know I tried one of your explanations and it worked?
What? Okay.
The V positioning of
Yes.
legs.
Yes. Okay.
I thought like you have to put it like.
No.
Oh my god.
You see,
you need Maurice. Contact him.
Lydia, you see, I've done this for 22 years. I'm passionate about sexuality. I'm not passionate because I told myself I have to be passionate because it's the way I want to make money. My passion is why I'm able to make money. My passion is why I have women who go to therapists abroad because there are far more sexologists abroad, and that sexologist fails them, and then they come to some Kamba guy from Kilungu who is in Kenya, and I change their lives. But I change their lives because I'm good at what I do. If you're not good at what you do, then you're going to fail people.
True.
Then you shouldn't be selling, but you're good at what you do. You see? And I've done this for a very long time. So I love the feedback. It's the only thing that keeps me going. Yeah. I've now seen beyond, it's almost 6,600 vaginas. Yeah. So for me, I love when feedback, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, tells me my sex life has changed for the better. Yeah. And the disadvantage, like I said, that women have is your vaginas by default are not designed to enjoy sex. There's a procreational element. Our enjoyment of sex is by default, it's a design.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, I ejaculate because I can, I have a mechanism.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're complaining, oh, this guy came in 2 seconds, he came because he has a functional body that ejaculates semen in that 2 seconds. But now that we've moved from procreation to recreational sex, there are now other attributes to the sex that need to be there. And that's why we call them foreplay, BDSM. Do you see what I'm saying? There's more. Now, that's why I said sex now becomes a sport.
And enjoyable.
And enjoy. And guess what? And that's why I always say the Masimbas out there, they understand me. The Mafisis and the Makats, some of them don't like me. Yet, if I could invoice them, I wish I would, because I've conditioned so many women's vaginas, and guess who's enjoying those vaginas?
The Mafisi
The
and
Mafisi and Makats are enjoying. That guy couldn't make anyone come, and now the vagina is conditioned.
They're all enjoying.
They're all enjoying.
The home is happy.
Yes. And what I've learned is these Mafisis that hate me, The Chinyamaji, they're following me.
Oh, they're listening.
Oh yeah. I meet men who tell me, Matheka, my friends would never agree that I'm talking to you right now because I always tell them I hate Matheka. But I follow you.
But men need to do better.
Though there are men who will tell you why are we doing better.
In terms of listening to what women like,
Okay.
and in terms of agreeing, Matheka, you're not doing the right thing in the bedroom. Can we work on it, me and you?
Yes, but I want us to be very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not deceive humans out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be a woman and a man who does not subscribe to what you like. I've met enough
100%.
Kenyan men who tell me, Matheka, whatever you talk about with the vagina, me have 3 minutes. The now guy who told me has 8 minutes. Because when he's having sex, he's thinking about some truck that's delivering potatoes.
The deal that has not come through.
Yes, so now he's asking me, now, you want me to suck vagina for 30 minutes when I could have made money? But that guy, you can't change that guy's mindset.
So who is suffering?
You see, now you need to ask yourself, so you're the one who has subscribed to this potato guy.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah? So maybe you and him just need to start eating chips. I don't know. Maybe that'll make you calm. I don't know. Do you see?
And that is now facilitating a lot of cheating.
You see, you call it cheating. I just call it going to an outlet and eating your food and enjoying. Sometimes you don't have to own the chef, just enjoy the food.
Allah, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. Maurice, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for sharing information. And I promise you guys, one of you, if not all of you, you need a Matheka in your life. You need not a Matheka, you need Matheka in
Call
your life.
me. Let's
If you've never had
change.
an orgasm, if you've never squatted, which I'm thinking about.
And us and the men also need to call me. You know, we all need to have skills so our bedrooms can be happier.
And our relationship.
Yes.
We don't need to go thinking about, no, today I'll go lay my body there and he gives me his 2 best minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes our stresses come from the fact that our sex life is just dead. So let's all improve. Go on.
If Matheka is one person who will always have something to say for the longest time. You're not limited to time. You have a ton of information to share.
Yeah.
So please follow Matheka. I'll have
Please do.
I'll have highlighted his social media platform pages there. His number, if you need his services.
Yes.
You need to orgasm, you need to squat, you need advice.
Yes.
You said nowadays you are.
Not nowadays. I've always given advice on
I thought
profiling.
you're just a sexologist.
No, but sexologists do so many things. It's
Oh.
just that I'm known for the vagina. But there's so many other things that I do.
Maybe you have
Teaching women how to be more confident. There's so many things.
You have shouted about vaginas for the longest time.
Yes,
Maybe
because
that's
I
why
need
you're-
to. I care about them.
Alright. Anyway, we've come to the end of our episode, guys, and just to remind you our shoot location. This is an Edmo Suites. It's a 1-bedroom apartment that you can have as an Airbnb for long-term stay and short-term stay, and they also have a variety of them from studio apartments up to 4 bedrooms apartment available for long-term and short-term stays. Please, if you are looking for someone to stay, you can DM them, you can contact them on the number on the screen. And please remember to head over to Maurice Matheka's page or save his contact, his WhatsApp number, WhatsApp him, ask him question. It might take time for him to reply, but he will always reply.
I'll always reply.
Maurice, until next time.
Hey, it's been real.
Thank
it's
you.
Always fun.
Forgot to invite Tena.
Yes,
Bye, guys.
I will come back. Take care.